Guys, as I'm switching on this, I actually need a second battery for my camera. That's just all I have to say. I need a second battery for my camera. Every single time I try and shoot, my battery is low. Anyway, I'm Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. So today I am doing my June wrap up. I know it's a little bit late, but I've had a very hectic ending to last month and start to this month, so please do forgive me. In June, I'm having some ginger tea. It's very cold in Joburg today. In June, I picked up 5 books, started 2 and only finished 3. So it's a better month than last month, in all honesty. So these are the books I picked up in June, in this particular order actually. Novice, Pleasure, Arcadia, Coconut, and Children of Blood and Bone. I managed to read these 3. Ooh, sorry guys. I managed to read these 3, which is The Novice by Taran Motaru, Pleasure by Ntikeng Mokele, and Coconut by Kopano Matla. Those are the ones that I finished. By the end of June, I'd already started Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and I am currently halfway through the book, so this is my first book for July. I won't tell you how it's going so far, so you'll have to stay tuned. And this one I picked up and only read as far as 15 pages. I found it very hard to get into. I don't think I was in the right space of mind to open this book, so I am putting it away until I can actually get into it. It's promising to be quite interesting. It's different to any book that I've read, the way that it starts, the way that it's being narrated. So I am going to pick it up again very soon, but I have parked it for now because I really think that I'm not in the right frame of mind for it at the moment. So let's talk about the 3 books that I did pick up. Let's start with The Novice by Taran Motaru. This book, I did not expect it to do what it did. I really didn't. I went into this book already thinking I was gonna like it. Remember when I was telling you about my May TBR, but I didn't expect to like it so much. So if I can actually think back that far, the book is the first book in the Samonas series. It follows Fletcher. Fletcher is, as far as we know, an orphan who doesn't know that he's got the Samonas gift. He was raised by I want to call him a welder, a blacksmith in a tiny village, and so he was raised by a blacksmith in a village where Samonas aren't sought out for their summoning gifts. It's like a secluded village, and he stumbles across, or he's presented Samona's script that he reads out the one night in the gravesite, and manages to summon his demon over there. And the rest of the story is about his journey into discovering his gift, going to the Vulcan's Academy and making a name for himself. A lot of drama happens, and like a lot of drama ensues in the village, so he has to run away, and in his running away he stumbles across somebody who opens the door for him to go into the Vulcan's Academy, where he is taught the art of being a battle mage. The country is at war with different types of beings, so there are dwarves and there are elves, so it is a fantastical world. Mutaru's done a very good job because this is his debut Mutaru's done a very good job because this is his debut novel, and I did find little hints here and there of similarities between this and Harry Potter, but it holds its own ground at the same time. It's a very, very, very great story. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. I didn't expect myself to love it as much as I did. It was one of those great surprises that I came across, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 actually. A 4 out of 5 in my Goodreads. I truly love the story, and I can't wait to see what happens in the other series. I'll pick them up as soon as I get a chance. So I'm looking forward to the sequel, and I'll keep you posted. That's that for The Novice. The second book that I picked up was Pleasure by Mthuthuzeli. So June was clearly a month of surprises. I'm somebody who really loves dialogue in books. So when I picked this up for the first time, there was hardly any dialogue, and it was very poetically written. So you'd find that I would pick it up, put it away, read something else, and then pick it up again and put it away. Then when I finally decided to just give it a wham and read it, because it's not that long, it's like 100 and something pages. 178, no, 180 pages, so it's really not that long. However, I do believe that sometimes when you read a book, you have to be in the right state of mind to receive the message of that book. And if it is not flowing, that's the reading process. You could put it down and pick it up later. It doesn't mean it's a bad book. It doesn't mean it's a book that you should never ever read. It's not a horrid read. It's just that the timing is just not right for you to receive the message of that particular book at that time. So I think that's what happened with me in May and at the beginning of June. But when I did pick this up mid-June, it was such a beautiful read. I ended up giving him a 4 out of 5 as well. So he explores the notion of pleasure through his character Mthuthuzeli, who is plagued by this idea of what pleasure is, where to derive it from, how to interact with it. Do we need it? Do we not need it? What implications it comes with? And in grappling that in present day Cape Town, South Africa, he has a dream about wartime Europe, where the same notions of pleasure are explored, but in more dark, more raw ways. Let me put it that way. This is an adult book, obviously, and it's probably the first adult book I've picked up in a very long time, because I have been reading a lot of YA. I would say that what I enjoyed most about the book is the character that Milton, the main character, dreamed himself as. I enjoyed that tale more than the real tale. However, the older Milton, as the years go by in real life Cape Town, South Africa, was something that intrigued me, where his hunt for pleasure got him to a state where he was stripping himself of everything material and trying to understand life without pleasure. But I doubt that there is any such thing, because we literally exist for pleasure. We derive pleasure from everything, and I think that's the message of this book. I truly enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what else Mthuthuzeli has in store. It was a beautiful read. I enjoyed every single bit of it when I finally did get around to actually allowing its message in. So that I gave a 4 out of 5. And the last book I read over a space of 2 days, or rather 1.5. Actually, it was a few hours, because I was doing the readathon in Cape Town. I don't know if you guys watched that video. So I read the rest of the pleasure book, and then I picked this one up. I was left with like a few pages the following day that I finished the following morning. So I'd heard a lot about Kopano's coconut, especially when it first came out. I didn't give it much mind. I didn't read it at all. Actually, I didn't even read any synopsis, any reviews, nothing about it. However, perhaps it was because I thought I knew the subject matter enough. Having grown up in post-apartheid South Africa, matured in that time, and gone to what they would have called former Model C schools, we have seen this word brandished around like it means nothing. And how it has hurt people, and how some people have taken it and worn it as their armor and enjoyed it. It's other side, I guess, because I could never understand a compliment of this nature, but that's just me. However, the book explores two lives. So those who managed to make it big in post-apartheid South Africa, and those who were forgotten in the townships. And it's a girl called the coconut in the book is an ignorant girl called Ophilwe, and the lady from the township is Fix. And it's so amazing how both their stories unravel, and how the one thing that the one wants is the one thing that the other one would rather be without. And it's also a great reflection of post-apartheid South Africa, which is a sad story to actually even engage in, and it is a mirror to society actually. Even in present day, you would assume that this would have been a thing that people were talking about in the 90s or early 2000s, but even today, this coconut term and what it comes with is still something that plagues our society. And I don't know how I can express what I'm trying to say, but what I think I'm trying to get at is we need to unmask ourselves of this term, especially those who have been called this, or who have been in environments where they have been assumed to be coconuts. I feel like we are in an era as society and as the world where we are embracing our Africanness, and I think that that's the one thing that should shine through in the global world that we live in. What makes us unique is who we are and not who we want to imitate. So it's very important that we learn to get rid of this mask in those that are coming up, and in those of us that have gone through the system and have been called this name from time to time. This novel, though, as much as it was a quick read, it was an interesting story and an interesting subject, I didn't feel like I enjoyed it as much as the others, so I did give it a 3.75 stars. But I do want to get into her other books, which are Spilt Milk and Period Pain. So these two books are South African authors. Sorry, I just thought I should point that out to you. So Mthuthuzeli is a South African author, and so is Kopano Matla. So the other two books that I did touch, I think with Ian Pearce's Arcadia, it's just a matter of timing. I read it only up until page 15, and I realized that this book is going on a tangent, but I probably am not ready yet mentally to like engage with, not that it's that deep or whatever, but in the style in which it has been written, and especially acknowledging the fact that I think it is written by an ex-journalist and somebody who sounds like their comprehension of language is like on the very, very extreme, and their love of literature, and also seeing the number of... Okay, it seems like it was a game, so, and it's still continuing, so please can you forgive the noise in the background if you can hear it. So that's why I didn't finish this book. I will pick it up again sometime soon. I don't mean to not read it at all. I just think that this is not the right time for me to actually tackle this book at the moment. And then the fifth book that I picked up is actually the book that I'm busy with. I'm almost halfway through, and that is Tommy Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. I'm not going to say much about this except to tell you guys that I'm on page 249, and so far so good. So that's all I read in the month of June, and I'm sorry that this video is late, guys. It's been a hectic few weeks, but I hope that you enjoy it nonetheless. And please can you like, share, comment, and please subscribe. I'd like to grow this channel on BookTube, because I have come to the realization that there isn't enough South African booktubers out there, and helping me grow is helping somebody else notice this platform for themselves, and hopefully there'll be more of a diverse voice on this platform coming from South Africa. Other than that, I love you very, very much. Until we meet again, bye.